Hello and welcome to Family Matters. Thank you so much for joining us. On this show, we discuss various issues that affect human relations. As usual, I have Liz and Mike to help me with this. Welcome.
Thank you.
Today, we are discussing single parenting. Liz, this is something that has become very common of late. What are we discussing today?
It has become very common, but you hardly hear such a topic being discussed. It's as if people center on the couples, they center on children, they center on anything else but not single parenting. So we are looking at a parent who is taking care of his or her own children alone.
Yes, Mike. What I want to come with from a pastoral perspective, because you go around churches a lot, definitely.
Yes.
Do you find that we ever discuss single parenting and try and find ways to help them?
It's an area that is not properly treaded on as far as the church is concerned. Like Lisa just alluded to, the focus mainly is on married couples.
Yes.
And very little is done for single parents.
Right. Now, what I want to look at is what can lead a person to end up being a single parent. What causes, say, single parenthood?
There are quite a number of factors. Some of the factors are through death, loss of your husband or loss of your wife. The other one could be through divorce. You are divorced and the other person doesn't seem to even want to take care or have a part to play in bringing up the children. The other way is also through adopting a child.
Okay.
Today's era, there are some people who don't want to have their own children biologically and they don't want to get married,
Yes.
but all they want is to have a child, so they go and adopt.
Mm.
And the other one could be pregnancy out of, let me just say, unwanted pregnancy.
Okay.
It can also lead to be a single parent.
Yes. Mike, any additions to that?
I think she has covered broadly what I could have also said. Maybe let me just add one. I think it can be a result of abuse. Maybe somebody was raped and it led to a pregnancy and a child is born and the mother is willing to take care of this offspring.
Yes. And then obviously with that, like any other kind of lifestyle, whether you're married or you're in a proper relationship, if you're single, there's some challenges that come with it, with having a child. What are some of these things that maybe single parents face?
I think one of the challenges is that as a single parent, especially, for example, if you have girl children and you are a father, it becomes a challenge at a certain age to role model or to help these children on areas that are specifically girl children's way of life. For example, it's very difficult for a father, especially traditionally here in the developing countries, to have a father who can help a girl child know how to behave themselves, to dress themselves. For example, fathers should realize that they are not able to give training or to help their girl children effectively when they are going through their monthly periods. It becomes a challenge for a single father to do that. So it's some of those things. Even a mother who may be taking care of their boy children, there are some challenges that they can face which they don't know how to help their own boy children. So it's about some of those issues that we need to talk about.
Okay, Mike, some challenges that single parents can face?
I think as it happens, more especially when one was not prepared for it, like you lose a partner or a spouse through death, boom, an accident happens. And from there on, you are now straight away going to adjust. You'll have adjustment problems on, before we even come to, I'm going to take care of these kids. You are going to go through grief. You want to adjust to this whole thing. The same applies to a divorced spouse. There are adjustment challenges that come immediately after losing your spouse.
Talking about that, what kind of adjustments for specifically somebody who has lost a spouse, all of a sudden you're left with children to take care of them by yourself? What are the things that they face?
You find there are challenges, even financially.
Yeah.
Maybe when you were together as husband and wife, you would share responsibilities financially as to how to run your family. But when you are now by yourself, the other income may no longer be there and the demands of day-to-day living may become so big, especially when the person who has died or the one who has divorced you was the sole breadwinner. And you are to remain with children to take care of, and you don't have a stable income.
Yes.
It becomes a serious challenge then.
Mike, what are some of the challenges that a spouse whose the partner has passed away face with the children that remain behind?
The issue of death, they may not understand why they have lost a parent through death. The children may still be angry with God, and the remaining spouse may not know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Liz, are there any other issues that single parents face that come to mind?
It's true, there is a lot that single parents go through when they are on their own. You find that when they want to go out to socialize out there, they are labeled. Their children are labeled to be children who do not have manners because they are only being brought up by a single parent, which is very unfair because it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have both parents for a child to have manners.
Yes.
So it happens that we stigmatize the single people. They are stigmatized because people think being a single parent simply shows that you are not capable to train up your own children.
Yeah.
So these are the issues single parents need to be assisted to know how best they can stand against such negative thoughts that
Yeah.
may come their way within the community.
And then, Mike, in church situations, what challenges do single parents go through? Because you spoke about in society, it's like you're unfit
Yeah.
being alone with this child in church. I mean, what's the reality of single parents? What do they go through?
I think they go through some form of stigma. They are looked at as not being the ideal ones. They are treated in the periphery, and sometimes they are not given responsibility in the church because they don't have a husband or they don't have a wife.
Yeah. Anything else that comes
But
to?
also besides the society or the church, single parents also have a way of projecting themselves.
Right.
They think that people are saying these things about us.
Of which is not
I've
always.
said they think.
Yeah.
They project what is in their mind to the outside, where even if you laugh, you're talking and you're joking, and
Yeah.
a single parent passes by, they think you're laughing about them,
Of which is not the case.
which is not the case.
Yeah.
So all those issues, they also are found among single parents.
Yeah.
And it is a sad thing because sometimes you may end up even not associating with clubs that can help you have more information on bringing up your child.
Yeah, Mike?
One of the major challenges is that single parents may not have enough time. They don't have enough time.
And the other thing is we are talking about single parents,
Yes.
meaning these people were once in relationships. That's how they had their
Yeah.
children. It's a challenge for a single parent to start dating their children if they are mature.
Yes.
They tend to detect who mommy should see, who daddy should see, or dad or mom should not see
anybody
anyone
else,
at
yes.
all. And this causes a lot of pain on single parents. They can't move on because the children are detecting terms within the family. So it's one of the challenges
Yeah.
that single parents go through.
Mike, any those additions to what you say?
Another addition, I think, could be a cultural problem. I don't know what it is like in the Americas, in UK, Europe, and Asia. But in some parts of Africa, being a single parent is a big problem, more especially if you are a woman. Then the death of your husband opens doors to anyone to come and overrule your decisions, to come and run your life, and it becomes a misery, especially if this woman is not trained to protect the rights of her children and her own rights. Otherwise, people will simply come here and they take the cows, they take the car, they want to take the house, and you find the children and the mother run into gross problem because of what the uncles are doing.
Yeah. No, to speak about some people become, or some females become parents because they've been raped,
Yeah.
and they've chosen to keep the child. But obviously they go through a process or some trauma of some nature. What are some of the challenges that they face as a parent who you're forced into a situation, you didn't choose this?
I am laughing while you're asking that question.
Yeah.
I had a friend whose daughter was raped,
Right.
and the daughter decided to keep the baby. And after the baby was delivered, every time this girl would look at this child, there's a song they used to sing at church to
Yeah.
say, with Jesus in the family, happy, happy home.
Yeah.
But now this lady, the one who was raped, should look at this child and then say, with Rudo in the family, Sedi, Sedi, home. Sedi, Sedi, home. It was
Yeah.
a way of expressing her pain, but she is now expressing it in a manner that affects this child.
But that was a reality.
It was a reality. That's
Yes.
very true that it's said.
Yeah.
So I am saying it is a situation where, honestly speaking, this mother who has been raped needs to go for counseling
Right.
to be able to deal with the traumatic event she went through.
Yeah.
It's not going to be very easy because the child is already there. It's a constant reminder. So it needs this mother to be helped psychologically through counsel to know that this situation, she can go over it
Yeah.
after some time and be able to accept the realities of life.
Right. Mike, from a pastoral perspective, I must throw this at you because it happens, a reality in that in church, if I'm a single girl and I fall pregnant out of wedlock, to put it that way, some discipline is taken on me, some measures must be taken on me. And it's traumatizing for some people because nobody follows up to check, how are you doing, or
Yes.
can I help you to go through this? How do you deal with that?
Let me speak for the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Yes.
Our disciplinary measure should be redemptive.
Right.
It must be restorative. A decision to deal with a member should not be taken until we have put everything in place to make sure that when we administer that discipline, we are able to save this particular person. So we must do everything necessary to at least nurture this person in advance of their discipline.
Right.
Otherwise, we may be careless over people and simply because they have offended the church, so let's cut them off, let's deal with them. We need to be redemptive in the manner in which we deal with people who offend our beliefs and our values.
Liz?
I think it's not only the church. I think even within families,
Yes.
once you have a mother or a young lady who has a child out of wedlock, it's not time to condemn them. I think it is time to help them realize that they made a mistake and they can still live a fulfilling life, where we need to nurture them, to counsel them out of love.
Yeah.
Punitive measures normally are destructive. So we are saying in single parenting, when there is such scenarios, it's not time to pass judgment. It's time to restore a person to their normality, to be able to function every day without having to feel guilty of the mistake that they did.
I think it's time for us, Mike, to go for a
Okay.
break. But when we come back, then we can discuss further and talk about how, as a society, we can help single parents. Please don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Family Matters. If you've just joined us, we're discussing single parenting. You know, Mike, I have friends who are single parents who are not necessarily miserable or in the dumps. In fact, for some of them, they became better people after they decided not to marry the people that maybe gave them children. Not that to say it's good, but they're glowing. So it's not always bad. What can you say about this?
Yes, I think we need to run away from a temptation of feeling that being single parent is something negative. It's a weakness and it's something that you should never wish to be. Like you rightly put it, Sunny, there are some single parents who are very responsible out there, who are happy out there, who are very successful out there. They are even managing things much better sometimes than those that are in marriage.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, there's something that I need us to address, which sometimes I think affects people, but they don't realize it, maybe psychologically, to say, in our culture, the way I know it culturally.
Yes,
If
yes.
I fall pregnant right now,
Yes.
my family will charge the husband side something they call damages. That
Yeah.
word damages.
Yes.
It simply means that now I'm damaged goods. I'm a damaged woman.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to discuss this issue to say, but why is it viewed as Sunny is now a damaged person? What does this mean?
I think, Sunny, traditionally, this is a sign parents express their disappointment. Not necessarily that you are a damaged person, as the word damaged
Yeah.
that they say, but basically what they are saying is you came in and had a child with our daughter or with our, it's normally charged from the girl side,
Yes.
where the boy side or the young man side are expected to pay in some token of saying we did not do right.
Yeah.
So it's not like they are saying you are a write-off, but in a way they've disturbed your life one way or the other, because you might have been going to school and then you'll find you have dropped out of school.
Yes.
And it has affected you, and the parents are expressing their anger that our child was at school. Or you may have been working, and as a parent, they're expecting that you will follow the channel where lobola is paid, that's the bridal price.
Yes.
And maybe it was not paid, and that's why they demand that.
Yes.
So this is the reason why they say you have damaged the progress
Yes.
of our daughter.
Our child.
Yes.
Like,
This is also coming from a culture that espouses the view that sex should only be done in marriage. It may not be a biblical culture,
yes.
but they have a biblical value they are also instilling. Basically, the Zimbabwean culture,
Yes.
the Shona tribe are the ones that possibly do what you are talking about. So what is being damaged here when they say you damaged us? They are saying you damaged the reputation of the family. You have injured our beliefs and our values. We don't operate like that, and our family has been defamed by what you have done. So, for us to express disapproval of what you are doing, we are going to charge you so many number of heads of cattle and so many US dollars because you have actually tainted our reputation in society.
So in short, there are some traditions that help to keep us in check.
Yeah, yes.
That's right. Now, the other issue I want us to discuss is the issue of a parent who does not have custody of a child. Are they obligated to help to ease the pressure, let's just say financially or even with time? Are they have obligations towards that?
The truth of the matter is, within the developing countries, people allow things to just go. Yet there are laws that can protect and that makes you be able to get the help that you need. Mm-hmm. Every father or mother have the obligation to ensure that they take a part to play in the development and the growing of their child.
Right.
Hence, there is what is called maintenance, where the father or the mother are supposed to share in bringing up this child.
Yeah.
So in many times, this may not happen simply because of lack of information. But when you have information, you can go and report the issue, and the civil laws will be involved to ensure that such a thing takes place.
Yeah. Like,
I want to bring it also from another angle, which possibly could be very selfish.
Yeah.
On the part of the custodial parent who is taking care of the children. This parent may come to a point where it doesn't happen with every parent, but there are some parents who say, I would like to show my love to these kids. We are going to struggle together, kids. I'm suffering for you. I'm having sleepless nights for you. I am the one who loves you. The one who is out there does not care, and you must not have anything to do with him.
Yes.
So we then perpetuate suffering unnecessarily. And unfortunately, when those kids grow up, they're now 18, 19, they say, we want to go to our father.
Yeah, right.
We want to go to our mother. And you were busy suffering alone when the other person could have at least played their role. Children belong to two parents. Even if you are there or you are not there, you have a role to play. And the custodial parent must open the door for this other parent to come and play a role to his own children or to her own children.
You know what you're saying is very true. That even children, I've seen many children whose parents were not involved in their upbringing.
Yeah.
When they get to 18 years old, I'm looking for my identity. Where is my father? All of a sudden, they
Exactly.
need to see this.
And,
But yes,
and
Liz.
also to add on that,
Yeah.
we are talking of our culture here in the developing countries. When it comes to paying off a bridal price, the maternal side will ask who are the fathers of this girl, referring to the paternal family. They will need the input
From the paternal.
from your paternal family
Mhm.
to say your daughter is getting married. And yet all the time, they've been bring you up alone. So it simply shows that the two parties, if they are alive, they need to
To
have
be involved.
part to play in bringing up their child. Unless if it was maybe through abuse, and the courts might have, for the sake of protection and the safety of the family, if it was the court that was saying you don't have to come closer, then in that case you need to respect the laws that will have caused you to be inhibited to come closer. But if it is a situation where it's just that you had a misunderstanding as a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or as the girl's family and the boy's family, you need to give this child her or his rights.
Oh, okay, Mike.
Right. Under normal circumstances,
Yes.
The law allows the other parent to have access to the children.
Yes.
And the children have that right. They have a right to the custodial parent and to the non-custodial parent. Whatever challenges you two had between mom and dad, it's your problem. But me as a child, I have a right to my mom. I have a right to my father. And my father has got the right to play a role. I need school fees. I need clothes. I need a birthday cake. I need something. I want to be taken out for a weekend. My father, whether he's out there, or my mother, whether she's out there, she needs to know that I need these things. So the other parent who is at home with the kids needs to realize that these needs are paramount and fundamental.
All things being equal, though, in a normal situation where there's no protective orders against anybody, what can we say about the relationship between the two parents of the child who are not together anymore? Because some end up having animosity towards each other. They hate, there's anger, there's fighting all the time, which is not the interest of the child.
Exactly.
How can we deal with the kind of situations? Liz?
I think in such a situation, it is of greatest value for the two to act in a more humane way.
Yes.
To be civilized in the way that you speak to one another as the parents of your child. This child needs to understand and to learn from the two of you, even though you are no longer together. But you still have to have those values that you instill to your child. Because if you show animosity towards one another, you are telling this child some negative things that as the child grows, he or she will learn to see that I think my mother is the one who caused my dad to go away. Or I think my dad is the one who caused this. You cause the children to start having favoritisms. And at the end of the day, it will not be very healthy for the child. Because we are saying we are role models to our children. Actually, in the Bible, it says, train up a child in the way they should grow. That was not given to only husband and wife living together.
Yes.
Even if you are a single parent, you have an obligation to role model this child in the right manner. So I think it's important not to be to act in a manner that puts away your children.
Yes, Mike?
I think it's very important for these two parents to get to a point where they accept and they resolve that their relationship ended, and then they can start healing and then moving on with their lives. If that resolution is not made, you'll continue to carry bitterness and anger. No wonder you want to cause each other sanctions.
Yes.
Don't come near me. Don't come to the... Because once you come to the children, it's like you're finding an anger to cause me more pain.
Right.
And the safest thing I can ever do is, can you stay away from our house, stay away from my children, so that at least there's a gap between us. I don't think that's the way to do things.
Right.
We need to resolve the termination of the relationship and consider that it is done, and we can then start relating at a different level where both of us have children that need to be taken care of, but we don't have a relationship to manage between the two of us.
Yeah, Liz.
I think what Mike is saying is very important, because if you don't reach that understanding, you are bound to displace your anger on the children.
Yeah.
Where you find you label these children or you name call them. For example, you hear a mother saying, "You big-headed, just like your father." You know, it's done without even thinking, because you have anger against the men that you are now saying you big-headed to your.
Yes.
You are insulting this man, but the person you're actually insulting is the child.
Yes.
So you displace your anger, which means you need to resolve your differences.
Yes.
But resolving your differences doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to come back together
course.
if situation doesn't allow.
Yes. Mike, how can then the society or the church help single parents, regardless of how they became single, whether it was through being widowed or you fell pregnant or you divorced? How can the society help the single people to be able to live and be in a normal, happy life?
I think at church level, the church needs to be inclusive in its programming and in its leadership structure, so that single parents are part of church leadership. They are part of the significant others in the life of the church. We don't need to push them aside. We should also have programs that basically seek to meet the needs of single parents intentionally. The same way we do with couples, we need to do the same with single parents. They need to also feel that they are a priority. The other way of assisting this population group in the church is to assist them in forming support groups.
Liz, your final words to
I
single
also want to
parents.
say, for single parents, you
Yes.
may not need to wait for the other associations to take part. As a parent, if you are bringing up a boy child or a girl child, seek father figure or mother figure who can role play some of the responsibilities that you are not. But in doing so, you have to be very careful that they are not being abused
Yes.
in the process, because
Yes.
those are the dangers which you may face as a single parent.
Unfortunately, time as usual is jealous. But thank you so much for this discussion. Like you said, it's very important that we discuss this issue, because sometimes we don't regard that they are there. And yet single parenting is real. It's really happening. So it's important to show that we do care for them. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that you've been blessed by this episode. Until next time, God bless.